Hello guys, please excuse my voice. I am sick. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. If my voice sounds shaky, I'm sick. If my voice cracks, I'm sick. I'm not upset. Don't worry about it. But anyway, what's up? It's November, and if you're an American, like me, you're probably celebrating Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is about giving thanks. No shit. Last year I made one of these, and it was titled Thanks. It's gonna be in one of these pop-up bars somewhere. I don't know which side it's on. The fuck. I made Thanks, and that was a very heavy video. It was about being grateful, and you're not gonna get another one of those. I know, you can all take a breath. It's all good. No heavy shit this time. I'm going to talk about the march I was a part of on Monday the 14th of this month. As you know, Trump has won the presidential election, and people are very upset about it. People have taken to the streets. There are protests, there are march. There's a whole bunch of people who are just not happy about this. And so I participated in one of these marches, except I want to put out there that our march wasn't a fuck Donald Trump. It was more of a, it's not okay to be racist. It's not okay to be homophobic. It's not okay to be rude to a individual or group of individuals purely based off one difference that they have from you. Lately, since Trump is now a man of power and gets away with this kind of behavior, many people now think, oh, I can get away with it too, and that's not the case. And our protest was to show that we don't tolerate that. We're not going to tolerate racism, bigotry, homophobia, xenophobia, all that stuff. That's not okay, and we won't stand for it. I just want to put that out there. It's not a fuck Donald Trump, it's fuck his attitude. That's what I like to say. I participated in a march, and so I would like to talk about my experience in this march. So the march is at 1:30, so I come out at 1:30 from my class, because it's a Monday, I'm in school, so come out at 1:30 from my class. Luckily I had art, so I'm not missing much. Our march started at 1:30, but I actually left earlier because I was one of the organizers. The organizers were supposed to be out there at 1:20. So I'm out there, and there's already people out there. Some are organizers, some aren't, and that's awesome. I'm like, wow, this is great, okay. And then, so we're out there for 10 minutes, and 1:30 comes around, and all of a sudden, all these people start coming out, and I'm amazed at how many people ended up coming out. I think the press said we had about 250. I didn't get a chance to actually physically count, but I believe that we did have 250. We were out there from 1:30 to 2:25, because that's when our school gets out. And what it was is the beginning is supposed to be a silent protest. And that's what it was. And we had pretty good participation with that. And I am very proud of that. And while we were standing there being quiet and doing our silent protest, a student, who I won't say their name because they in press decided to remain anonymous, and so I will keep them anonymous out of respect, but I do know who they are, a student came out and stood on the sidelines and was holding an American flag, which is perfectly fine. We went over to see what was up and if he wanted to join us, because hey, an American flag isn't a bad thing. It's how people use it that make it a bad thing sometimes. So we were like, dude, if you want to join us with the American flag, we could sure use it, because we forgot to bring one. He's like, no, I'm just out here respecting your right to voice your opinion, and I'm here to voice my opinion. And we're like, cool, whatever. Later he was joined by one of his buddies with the Don't Tread on Me flag. Again, not a bad flag, but it's the way it's being used by people that make it bad, or that give it that bad stigma. And so if either of them had joined us, that would have been fine with either of those flags, because now we're claiming that flag as our flag, and that this is our meaning to it, not your meaning. And so begins our march through the school. So through the school basically was magical. It was very, very cool to be surrounded by so many people all standing for the same thing. People who I've never met, people who I never thought would be a part of this. People who obviously are a part of this, people who have a good right to be here. It was just amazing. We do our loop around the school, which was amazing. Lots of stairs, lots of like what the fucks, which is fine. We head down out of our school, on our way to head over to our city council, which, by the way, was 2.3 miles away from us. Yay! So as we were marching to city council, we were kind of going down like, neighborhood streets and like little streets. So that way we could avoid big traffic because we had quite a big crowd behind us. And we were being followed by those two same people who were standing on the sidelines before. Those flags, I guess, had come from one of their trucks. And so they were following us with the two flags on the back. And it was really strange because on those like little neighborhood streets, you can go around the block literally. So it almost felt like when we were all on one block that they were circling us, because they would go and they would turn and they would come back around from the back of us and just keep going. And so it felt like they were circling us at some points. And then they would stop and they would watch us and they would smile and they would wave, and then they would continue on and we'd smile and wave back like, hi, we acknowledge you, what's up? It was a little intimidating. I was a little intimidated at that point, being followed by two big trucks. Not fun. But as we came out of the little neighborhood streets and went on to the main streets, we had police escort. We had police escort so they could block some of the ways, so that way we wouldn't be in danger of getting hit by a car. And as we came out onto some of the main streets, we had one of our nicest teachers with some of her students handing out bottles of water because the sun's beating down on us and we're walking, and we're going to be walking for 2.3 miles. And yeah, we were very grateful for getting the water. We come out and we have all this police escort. We're also being followed by a big white, kind of like SUV, I guess you would say. I don't know. Big car. And they're great because they keep stopping, and then people will get out and people will go in, and they're giving people rides, it looks like, or something like that. I don't know what they were doing. They would just kind of keep stopping beside us, almost as if they were helping the police guide us at this point, because we had like 2 officers, maybe 3, helping us out. And so we're going down our main street, and we get a text from somebody at our rival school who also is doing this. And they're saying that they're close by to us. And we're like, let's meet up. Why not? They're protesting slightly differently. They're more of the fuck Donald Trump kind of protest. But hey, let's have these 2 schools meet up. 2 rival schools hate each other. Hate each other's guts so much. Oh my god. It's ridiculous how much we don't like each other. And I'm like, hey, let's meet up. Why not? So we go to a playground that's nearby, and we meet up. And that was the most magical experience I've ever had in my entire life. To have these 2 schools who I know are filled with hatred towards each other because we're like such rivals, just like forget everything and are totally relaxed with each other, totally inspired by each other. And when we circled up and grouped up, we kind of took a breather for a second and had some inspirational people say a few things.
We are here for brothers of color! Brothers of homosexuality! And for humans across the board!
And we started off again. And at this point, I knew the way we were going very much, and I was at the front. And I told the people who were leading in front, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna run up ahead, and I'm gonna film you coming down this catwalk, because we were going towards a catwalk that went over the highway. And it was specifically just for walking over, no cars allowed on it. It was like just kind of like a little walkway over the highway, and that was our main goal, is to go over that and then go to City Hall, because then we get highway people seeing us. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna run ahead, I'm gonna go over the catwalk, and I'm gonna film you guys coming down. God, I was doing so much running, it was awful. So I do that, and I film everyone coming down, and I was there. I will put the time of the clip right here, how long the clip was. So here's how long the clip was. I was standing there for that long, waiting for this line to come down. And so the line comes down, and I'm at now the tail end of it, and so I run all the way to the front. God, I am like dying at this point. Now we're heading towards our downtown area, and that's where we're going now. And so as we get there, we get this one guy, maybe one old lady, who's like looking at us and just goes like this. And we're just like, hey boo, how you doing? And the guys who were following us before in the truck are still following us. They know where we're going. And so, in fact, I think they drove ahead at one point and just waited at City Hall for us. They're just like, screw this, we're just gonna go wait. But yeah, so they were looping around us again. So as we get deeper and deeper into town, we get more people honking at us, and like good honking at us. There's people there with like Mexico flags, and people there with rainbow flags, and like little ones, big ones. I wish we had an American flag. I know one of the other schools in our town brought an American flag and a Mexico flag and tied them together, which I thought was very nice. I'm like, God, we should have brought one. But as we're marching, we're getting all these like positive people looking at us. Some people are annoyed because, you know, we're blocking traffic, but whatever, that's a protest. And so we get to City Hall at this point. At that point, we were sitting around and we decided we were beginning to give out like why we were there, just talking about why we were there. And our organizer, one of our adult organizers, gave off a little kind of like poetic rap, which I will put in at the end of this, which was great. And I couldn't relate to a lot of it because he's Mexican, so he was relating a lot to the Mexican students who were walking with us. And so there were a few times where I'm like, okay, I get what that is, and I like that. So if I put this in, ignore my whooping because I'm like, you know, into it. But yeah, he was a cool guy. And it was just nice because we get a lot of people there. We got a few emotional adults who showed up. We had like a mom who showed up and was like crying. We had a guy who introduced himself as the old white guy who's not racist. It was just a magical experience, and I wanted to mention that to you guys because right now I'm scared of this election. I'm scared what's going to happen. I fear I'm scared for this. I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope everything will be fine. I don't know if everything will be fine, but I hope and pray everything will be fine. I hope for the best and I expect the worst. That's how I run life. But I just wanted to let you know what I'm thankful for right now, that I have right now, because in 3 months I could lose all of it. I am thankful for equal marriage right now. I'm thankful for my right to choose. I'm thankful that I can be out and open about things for now. I am thankful for the fact that I live in California and I am in a safe little bubble here where not much affects us that we don't like. But I feel for you if you are in a place that's not like that. If you're not in a safe little bubble. If you're somewhere that is not a safe place for you, I'm sorry. Things are going to change. We don't know what they are. We don't know what's going to happen. I know that it might get worse for some people, and I know it might get better for some people. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. I hope everything will be okay.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Karim Sanchez. I'm a community organizer. I'm a youth organizer. Órale mecha, ¿verdad? That's what my roots are. That's where I help out. So when folks reached out to me and said, "Hey Karim, check out, we want to walk out. Can you help us figure out how to do that?" I said, "Simon, you know, like Simon." I'm always down. And I gotta share, when I was watching the elections, I was with my 8-year-old daughter and my 6-month-old son, and it brought me to tears. It brought me to tears to try to figure out, how do I explain to my daughter that the mean man on TV who is saying all these nasty things about folks that look like us, about the folks that we love, that now he holds the highest office in our country. He's gonna hold. I didn't know how to explain it to her, and it brought me to tears. But then I realized that there's a silver lining to this moment. And this is it right here. It's all of you. It's all of the guerreros and guerreras, the warriors, the people that are gonna be willing to fight. Not physically, politically. They're gonna come out of this. But I also realized something. We can't get addicted to the fight. We also got to get ready to build. We have to create the world that we want to live in. And that happens when we get comfortable with power. When each and one of you start thinking, I'm going to run for school board. I'm going to run for city hall. I'm going to sit in that building and make decisions for my city. That's what y'all need to be thinking about.
Amen.
I know it makes us feel uncomfortable. But power is not a dirty word, I promise you. So, for some of you who follow me on Snapchat, lo que sea, you might know that I rap. I'm also known as MC Squared, or the morally courageous master of ceremony. And I'd like to share a poem with y'all. I have a couple of poems that are in my head. I'm not sure exactly which one I'm gonna share, but I think the one that's most on my mind goes a little something like this. My state of mind ain't always my state of being, cause they want me to think that I'm less than human being. But all of those standards were set by Europeans that want me to believe that it's not beauty I'm seeing. When I look in the mirror, things are becoming clear. I know that brown is beautiful and it's more than suitable to carry me throughout society. So now it's up to me to consciously be a masculine feminist, using in medicine to cool myself off from this world that we wrestle with. All the misogynists better know who they're messing with. I'm afraid of my anger. I know where the blessing is. Look, I am everyone and everyone is me. I represent the future, the present, and history. I'm breaking down boundaries that are supposed to define me so that I can honestly be this morally courageous MC. And so I am constantly conjuring up the curiosity to figure out how to engage in the reciprocity of basic generosity. But having to deal with all this phantom animosity has got me wondering if it's really an atrocity to watch them get gunned down in Dallas. Wait, remove the malice from the thinking and I can understand how a man can reach a point where he says, enough is enough. Cause look, my intellect is not limited to institutions I've attended. I spent a long time trying to deeply comprehend this. I'm not intimidated by their complicated language. Pero ten cuidado cause I hit them with the Spanglish. Language of the people I hang with has got me contemplating internal ancient wisdom just to figure out how to navigate their systems. I guess I never figured out how to be proud of capitalizing off of someone's messed up situation. Thank you.